Brock University's Archives and Special Collections Department received a donation of materials recently from Auto Workers Union, Unifor Local 199. Head of Archives David Sharon joins us. David, with the number of people that worked in the auto industry in St. Catharines and Niagara over the years, this is an important historical collection.
It is amazing, the records that we got from Unifor. It spans decades of history, and it does represent all of Niagara, so we're very happy to have it.
What are some of the, I guess, surprising things that you discovered looking at some of this collection?
Every file cabinet, every closet we went to was a surprise. We found the meeting minutes of the Women's Auxiliary Group from the 1950s, the ones who really set the recreation and social nature of the union in those earlier years. That was really fantastic that they even survived 70 years. And then we found scrapbooks of strikes. The button and ephemeral collection was really, really interesting. And then every agreement that they made, all printed up, dating way back to the 40s, all the way to the present. It's all represented in the collection, so it's a real thorough history of everything the union did.
You discovered a lot about their social issues during the decades as well, right?
They had committees for any kind of social justice issue or women's rights or LGBTQ issues dating into the 90s, into the 2000s. Recycling in the 80s when it was just booming, starting off. So they were really always looking for ways to help the community and to improve the cities that they were in.
Can we take a look at some of these items on the table here over near you, those record books? What are they from?
Yes. Yeah, these are meeting minutes from some of the committees they had. So this is the Sick and Welfare Committee. They would just meet every month and talk about the individuals that they would have to help and support in the community, usually people from the union.
And these are handwritten all the way through.
From the 1950s, so yes, eventually they get typed, but at this time, everything handwritten. It's gorgeous.
1952, I'm looking at here, the regular meetings, unbelievable. Right beside there, we have some newsletters, and this one looks very interesting. From when?
This is 1943, so in the middle of World War II, the years. So it's really fantastic that the cover shows women working at McKinnon's, because a lot of the men went off to war. The women of St. Catharines took over, and so really neat articles in here. So we see what they were doing in the 40s. We have other newsletters from the 1980s and through the 2000s. It spans all the history of McKinnon's, so it is a fantastic history. It shows the every day, every month, what's going on.
If I look at this, a bunch of pictures of people who were actually contributing to the war effort from McKinnon Industries.
There would be correspondence from soldiers who used to work at McKinnon's and went off to war. They would keep track of them, send them gift packages. Lots of interesting stories from those years.
Wow, incredible. You mentioned pins off the top, and here we have some of them. Very interesting collection.
Yes, just some ephemeral materials. Usually when you think of archives, it's just the paper material. But we couldn't say no to their pin collection. It just does tell some of the history, how it developed, what the various roles of the people were in the union, and it's all represented in physical form. It's really incredible.
I'm looking for a Jimmy Hoffa pin for their American counterparts, but I don't see anything.
I don't think we see much about Jimmy Hoffa these days. That's been buried somewhere.
Now, this scrapbook, this is incredible. And again, 1948, July 1948, they went on strike.
Yes, and this individual, Lloyd Hawk, created a scrapbook of everything that happened during the strikes. So in here, there's newspaper clippings and photographs and bulletins all pasted in here. So the entire history of the strike from the union's perspective is all represented in here. And you don't get these things anywhere else. This is a one of a kind. And that's what makes archives a lot of fun. And we hope someone will come to Brock one day and do some research on this. Like, no one's touched this for probably 80 years. Now someone can.
Brock has a labor studies program. So Brock Archives is a perfect place to host this collection.
Yes, when we worked with Larry Savage, who is one of the professors in the labor studies program, And he was absolutely over the moon that we got these materials. And we also have the history program, social justice at Brock. There's a lot of departments who can really use this material.
Let's try and open this and just see. Oh, well, something just fell out.
Oh, there's a hat.
What do we have here?
Yeah, another bit of ephemera. So that's when they were still the UAW, United Auto Workers, before they changed to Canadian Auto Workers, and now Unifor. This is the hat that they wore when they were on strike during those years. So it's an artifact of the time.
Wow. Anybody can access this material?
Yes, we're open to the public as well as the faculty and students at Brock. So from 9:30 to 4:30 on weekdays, we welcome anyone to come up and look at these materials.
And I'm sure there's a lot of people that would love to access some of this just to find out a little bit more about some of their ancestors.
There's a lot of names in this collection, and if you have someone who's associated with the union and you want to come in and take a look, this is a beautiful place to start.
David, thank you so much for bringing this in today.
I appreciate the time. Thank you.